Thank you, distinguished colleagues. First of all, I would like to thank the Kazakh side for its warm reception and high-level organization. Today's meeting is gratifying in terms of the composition of the participants. Our meeting continues to expand, with the press received by the Islamic Republic of Iran. Belarus is expected to become a new member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in the near future. I'm sure this is an important point. Strengthen the security of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization space. This will give additional impetus to collaborative work. Ministries of Defense of member states of the organization. We share the assessment made in the current international situation. It is still complex and tends to worsen. The main reason is that geopolitical contradictions are increasing. The fundamental basis of strategic stability is being destroyed, and the role of international institutions is declining, because the United States of America and its allies are trying to maintain global dominance and impose their orders on independent countries in any way. In order to achieve its goals, Washington is exerting unprecedented pressure, including on its partners, to give them the role of obedient executors. There are many examples of American interference in the affairs of sovereign states, including regime change that they do not like. They are Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria. As a tool of influence, financial policy is widely used in foreign affairs and in some cases in power. Repeated incitement and maintenance of unstable hotbeds are used. Ratio, generation of security threats, while offering military assistance to eliminate them. The Russian Federation adheres to a policy of non-interference in the affairs of other countries. At the same time, after the disintegration of the Soviet Union, the North Atlantic Alliance continued to expand eastward, although we were promised in the 90s that this would not happen. At the same time, NATO's expansion has gone through 6 waves. Allied forces are approaching the Russian border, posing an additional threat to military security. I want to emphasize that it was not us, but they came to us. We have come to our borders, which shows once again that you can't trust Westerners. Now they accuse Russia of attacking a strange alliance if Russia does not stop it in Ukraine. The Russian Federation has never threatened NATO. We have no geopolitical or military interest in attacking EU countries. We are just protecting our people in our historic territories. Always offered. Make every effort to maintain world strategic stability and balance of power. On the contrary, the United States first created and now deliberately prolonged the conflict in Ukraine. The collective West continues to supply Kiev with weapons, allegedly showing a desire for escalation. Uncontrolled movement. This poses a risk of being targeted by terrorist organizations. Real-time intelligence transmission. Organize the training of Ukrainian military personnel in the war zone. There are Western military experts and mercenaries. With the direct participation of the advisors, the sabotage was planned and prepared, including in Russia. Kiev uses it almost every day with the acquiescence of the West. Weapons received from him for the purpose of damaging civilian infrastructure in the Russian Federation. In addition, the continued blows are alarming. I went out of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, which may attract ratio. Ethics investigators, especially the terrorist attack on March 22nd, Crocus City Concert Hall. The hall also leads to Ukraine. All those responsible for these illegal acts, it is only a matter of time before they will be punished for their atrocities. The Russian armed forces continue to effectively conduct special military operations. All goals will certainly be achieved on the basis of experience gained, optimized combat work. We, his work in our army, are developing the country's defense industrial complex, improving the military personnel training system, and hone the acquired skills. As part of combat and combat training activities in this way, all attempts by the West to bring us strategic failure are futile. I would like to point out that the NATO-EU consultation process with the Russian Federation and our partners has had a negative impact on the situation. In terms of space, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization as a whole. In Central Asia, the main threat continues to come from militant terrorist groups in Afghanistan. The situation in this country is complex and is a source of terrorism and extremism. Washington has stepped up efforts to restore its position in Central and South Asia. Lost after withdrawal. Coalition forces from the former Islamic Republic. I believe everyone here agrees that the deployment of military infrastructure by the United States and its allies in the region is unacceptable. Such intentions should be seen as a direct threat to the stability of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It is necessary to talk about the double standards of the West when it comes to the realization of the vital and important right of self-defense. An example of this is Iran's retaliatory action in response to blatant attacks. With regard to the Iranian consulate building in Damascus, the result of this policy was the inaction of the United Nations Security Council, which was unable to make a corresponding decision. The Russian side has repeatedly warned. They are the unresolved crisis in the Middle East and irresponsible provocations. They will only cause tension. We call on all parties concerned to exercise restraint and resolve the issue politically through diplomatic means. As for the Asia-Pacific region, that is to say, here we see a systematic attempt to reformat the U.S. regional security system from U.S.-centered to U.S.-centered. This is done by strengthening Washington-centric military political structures such as the Quad and 3. Triple Union actively use the Taiwan factor to increase pressure on China. In addition, the return of radical Islamists from the Middle East to Southeast Asia from North Africa, it creates the prerequisites for the formation of medium-term prospects and also creates hotspots. Under the emerging geopolitical conditions, the formation of the SCO is becoming an important task. A common continental architecture, equal and indivisible security in Eurasia. Of course, while maintaining the central role of the United Nations and adhering to the Charter of the United Nations, we must also strengthen the role of the United Nations in the future. Will this promote coincidence? Or the approach of the SCO member states is close. Key international issues and the formation of a new world order. In doing so, it is necessary to ensure the sustainability of the organization against attempts to undermine its cohesion, provoke color revolutions and crises in member states from outside. We can resist together. All the desire of our enemies to destroy long-standing ties. The countries of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization should ensure that the national interests of each member state are taken into account in the best possible way. They continue to move towards further reconciliation.